I absolutely hate Marvel Rivals. No other game gets me as mad, as irritated as this game. No other game makes me question whether I'm playing with human beings or if I'm just not playing with freaking gorillas or something. But even then, the gorillas are probably still better.
Okay.
But despite that, Marvel Rivals is one of my most played games on Steam, and I just can't seem to stop playing it. Let me get this out of the way first before I jump into all the things I find bad about Rivals. I don't think Rivals itself is a bad video game at its core. You know, otherwise I wouldn't have poured 400 hours into it. I think Marvel Rivals can be fun, like really, really fun. Matches feel so chaotic, and each match plays out differently, and playing with friends just makes it all better. I also love the Marvel universe as a whole, and in my opinion, seeing some of the more underrated characters get representation in Rivals is awesome. I also think that NetEase sometimes is really great at responding to player feedback, and has made so many quality of life improvements to Rivals. However, with all that being said, I have a lot of problems with Rivals. Sometimes it's the same thing that makes Rivals so special to me that can turn me away also. Currently, one of the biggest problems plaguing Rivals is balance. There's like a million videos on this exact topic, but if there's that many, then there's probably 100% reason for it. Rivals runs into a lot of problems I feel like a lot of other competitive shooters or even competitive games run into, which is balance. And the solution is not getting rid of direct counters, which is something I've seen a lot about. That's a stupid idea, by the way. In Marvel Rivals, balance has always been kind of strange. DPS are either extremely broken or sometimes feel very underwhelming. Tanks are just damage sponges at this point. Every support has extremely high survivability, with some that are better DPS than most DPS. It's hard to be fun and have everyone seem viable. The issue with these types of games is there's two sides of the coin. The game needs to be fair for competitive players who, the diehards who play the game in and out so they won't leave. And the game needs to be fun enough for casual players to bring them back each season. There is a balance zone somewhere there. And honestly, I feel like we had that when Season 7 first came out. To illustrate the issue of balance in Rivals, I'm going to go through a character analysis of White Fox, one of my mains. White Fox, in my opinion, was in a great spot when she first came out. She was like in the middle of the road kind of deal. And she was buffed out the wazoo and was entirely way too broken. Then she was nerfed, and then in this season, they practically pulled her out back, shot her dead, and she was practically one of the worst characters in the game until they gave her a slight tweak to how fast she gets her ult. Now, let's take out another character, Luna Snow, Danny Koo's favorite child. She's been one of the best supports since the game came out, has barely gotten nerfed ever, actually she's gotten buffed more than nerfed, and when she was slightly out of meta, just slightly, boom! Right back to one of the best healers in the game, beating out actual DPS players, has a freeze that can stun the majority of ults, then it has a team up from White Fox that can get her out of any stun and send the other person into a state of stun. And the team up ability, which is literally a White Fox ability, is better than the actual White Fox ability. What the frick? Sorry, but I really just don't understand what they're doing with Luna. I freaking hate Luna. The balancing team really needs to look at some of the characters that are practically drowning in a pool of worthlessness and give them something, anything, instead of just nerfing Ultron for the 18th time when he doesn't need it anymore. Or maybe just stop buffing characters that are already crazy strong. I know it's really hard to get balance right, and that's why Zeong and the balance team get so much flack, because balancing 50-something heroes is very hard to do, and it will always seem like there's a weak pick.
Hello there.
But I think the simple solution to all this is that there just needs to be more communication between the devs and the player base. There is practically just radio silence behind what they're doing and why they're buffing and nerfing these characters, and the only sort of news we ever got recently was from a YouTube interview. If we just got to look into why they make the decisions, I feel like a lot of people would understand, okay, this may be a bad change, but at least I can see their vision. Another issue that I feel like has been plaguing Rivals for a long time is the matchmaking. What's the problem with matchmaking? I'm not doing that, but love you, AG Sterling. Anyway. Oh boy. The dreaded matchmaking system. What can I say about Rivals matchmaking? It's horrible. it's abysmal even. Sometimes the matchmaking feels like it's working great, and I'm getting really fair matches with some horrible ones thrown in, but that's kind of normal. And other times I'm just at a loss for words. I'm not exactly sure what type of matchmaking system Rivals uses because the devs outright deny the use of EOMM, which is engagement optimized matchmaking, but
I don't know.
there will be a time where you lose one game of Rivals, then insta-queue back into it and get freaking mollywopped, and then again and again. But then you take a break or get off for the day and come back and you're fine. You win a game or a few, you get good teammates, and then right back to just complete loss streaks. Throughout my time on my completely terrible losing streaks, it feels like I've noticed a trend, and maybe you should check it too. Just check the ranks of your team and the enemy team on a huge loss streak. Ranks don't mean everything, but when you're consistently getting bronze to gold players and the enemy team always has a GM or a Celestial Plus player, until you take a break or get off, something's up, man. It may be EOMM, but it's just a stupid matchmaking system at its core that I feel like needs a revamp or some sort eventually. Also, hiding the fact that you're going against bots, unless you know how to tell that, is kind of scummy to me. I don't know if anyone else feels the same, but I don't feel accomplished at all when I win a bot lobby. And I really don't like the fact that they're forced, but the matchmaking system is kind of a hard issue to tackle. But honestly, I feel like the first step in fixing it is just removing bot lobbies. The second item I feel like needs to be addressed is how the matchmaking system even works, because I don't know how to really explain it at all. Now, the huge, elephant-sized issue in the room. No, not freaking Luna Snow. I'd never complain about the same thing 2 times in a row. The freaking community.
Well, you've been making me feel like super close.
How do you not see the problem right now?
First of all, is that Kingsman? Like, shut the
It's gonna be diabolically selfish. I just don't find any other character fun in this game. Oh, I win on Squirrel.
Oh man, now we're at the meat and the potatoes of the situation. The biggest reason I don't like Rivals in its current state is the gosh dang community. There are really cool people in this community. I love the artists in this community. There's a lot of talented people in here. But I feel as if the player base over the last few seasons has gotten increasingly more whiny. They throw over the littlest problem in a game and talk so much junk, even if they're the problem. A lot of people complain that it's mostly dive players complaining constantly, and while there is definitely some truth to that, I think in general the whole community has become a gigantic who can cry the loudest contest. The majority of the noise I feel like comes from players who mainly play competitive and think they're the next Kingsman. I'm not saying this is every competitive player. It's just something I've noticed, and a majority of the reason why I quit playing competitive entirely and just mainly play quick play with my friends now. But even there, quick play used to be my place to have fun and turn my brain off. But it's quickly devolved into a toxic cesspool of the most brain-dead idiots I have ever seen in my life. Almost every single game I play now, it seems people will just insta-lock DPS without a care in the world about whether our team comp is good or not. And they proceed to go 2-7, leave the game, or start talking trash to our supports or tanks. I remember one game, I was playing Heart of Heaven, one of my favorite maps, and we were defending. We had this Hella on our team, and I'm not sure what was wrong with this person, but they may have had a brain issue of some sort, maybe sniffed too much glue when they were a kid, because something was not right in their brain if they even had one. It wasn't like this player was bad by any means, definitely not, but they would not stop talking junk in the text chat while spamming and asking for heals while they were clearly overextending. And when you looked at our backline, they were getting absolutely demolished by Venom. Venom kept diving in every single chance he got, and you know, they were just dying like freaking flies. So I swapped Punisher so I could peel for them and get the Venom off our backline. We still lost pretty badly, and when we did lose, this absolute Neanderthal started blaming me for not peeling. Like, what did I do? I was peeling. This person, for the majority of the game, was frontlining more than our actual tank was. We got into this heated argument for 3 minutes, and I was talking with my friend and all, and I just didn't say anything. I was just typing my keyboard. All you hear was keyboard clicking noises. And after that, I was just so heated that I was like, man, I'm just turning text chat off. And I haven't turned it off ever since. Man, I do not get paid enough for this. I assume from discourse online that it's only gotten worse, and the number of times people won't swap at all makes me think that it's also true. Rivals players do not want to play a team-based game. They want to play a solo game where they're the main character and they swoop in every time to save them on BP and they kill the entire backline. But in reality, most of the time, they're going like 1 in 10, they're getting absolutely demolished, and then they blame everyone else for their, bad plays. The only way I would get people to swap back then was act like I was swapping Black Widow pre-buff, and they would see, oh wait, we have like 0 healers and like 5 DPS. Then we would get something sort of viable. But even that doesn't really even work now. The Rivals community, I feel like, has gotten increasingly more toxic and has made so many new players very put off by the game. This is an issue that goes beyond a balance patch. It mostly concerns how toxicity in Rivals is not actually really ever addressed. I'm not really even sure how you can fix this, but just please be respectful online. I have a lot of complaints about Marvel Rivals, which to me is a bit unfortunate because I really do enjoy this game. Why do I keep playing this game? There's a few explanations as to why, one being the sunk cost fallacy. There is real psychological evidence behind these games being held up by this, because in some cases, yes, people feel like they're forced to go down with the ship. I've invested a lot of time, money, and effort into this game. And I can easily see myself in that position. However, I don't think that's 100% the case. But if not that, then what? It could be the fact that Marvel Rivals' matchmaking system has twisted my brain into mush for NetEase to take advantage of. Maybe I've just become a NetEase zombie destined to defend Zeong till I die. I don't know. Some of you might think that by this point, but I don't really think that's it either. There is a simple, extremely simple fact of why I still play Rivals. I just really love this game. I know, kind of shocking. I mean, I made a whole video, I hate Marvel Rivals, but I really do like this game. If you really do hate Rivals, I think you should just take a break or even quit. I had to do that with another game I used to play. For me, a lot of these complaints come from a genuine place of wanting to see this game get better. Rivals has so much potential, and I think they've actually taken a lot of steps in the right direction to make it better. The constant season updates and balance changes keep me on my toes in a fun, really enjoyable kind of way. For me, this is how my relationship with media has always been. The more I like something, the more flaws I see in that thing. My favorite games, old school RuneScape, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Persona 4 Golden, have a lot of problems, and I could make videos entirely dedicated to those games and be as long as a movie, but I'd still say I love those games to death, and they are always going to be my favorite games. Rivals is a great game, and I don't see my opinion on that changing anytime soon. Before I go though, I have a few things I want to see in Rivals. Please, NetEase, add more convoy maps. Please give some of the more underrepresented characters a spotlight to shine. And please, please, please add Nightcrawler. And one final thing. For the love of everything good in this world, nerf Luna Snow. Alright, bye-bye. See y'all.
And subscribe for more.